Spotlight on Frazee is sponsored by these community-minded businesses and organizations. United Community Bank, an independent family-owned and operated bank committed to empowering customers to achieve their financial goals. Member FDIC. Frazee Family Foods, what a hometown grocery store should be. Friendly staff, family-owned, and a wide variety of groceries to fulfill your needs.
Welcome to Spotlight on Frazee. I'm your host, Hank Ludke, and I'm here today at the entrance to one of the entrances to the North Country Trail that goes off of Highway 34 heading south towards Frazee on the National Walking Trail. And I'm here with Willis Matson. Good morning, Willis.
Good morning, Hank. Glad to be on your show. Thanks for the invitation.
Well, I hope for a better day, but we take what we get.
That's right. We outdoors people are rugged and adaptable, so we adapt to the conditions. We don't try and adapt them to us.
So I understand you've got some interesting things going on this week.
We're pretty excited with the North Country Trail Association. A local chapter is cooperating with our chapter to the south and embarking on a trailblazer enterprise. That's to try to find the best possible location for the North Country Trail from this point here on Highway 34 down to and through Frazee to Vergas and on to Maplewood State Park on our way to North Dakota.
So we're looking probably at about a 35-mile or 30-mile segment here down to Maplewood.
Yeah, we have it just kind of roughed out as a planning zone that's a wide swath of area between this point and the park. And we're looking for input from the local folks here, both government units and private entities and individuals. And what we want to do is try to feature the most scenic part of Becker and Otter Tail County, the historic high points along the way, and any cultural significant locations along the way. So we're going to try to have folks help us identify those and then see if we can connect the dots to include as many of those points along the way as we can.
Well, I agree with that. I think it's a tremendous project. And the big thing, like you say, is getting the help from the people in the area that know their backyards, and know their townships and the routes through the woods and around the lakes.
That's the important part, and the thing that we want to make sure people understand that this is a nationally significant outdoor recreation facility, one of 11 of its type all across the nation. Of course, everyone's familiar with the Appalachian Trail out east, and then there's the Pacific Crest Trail out west. Well, this trail will go across the northern tier of states from New York State to North Dakota. And the emphasis is to find the best possible route. And as we cross Highway 34 here, we actually come into an area of the state and nation that has a lot of privately owned land. So what we're doing is looking for cooperating private landowners that would welcome us in routing this strictly a hiking trail. It is just hiking, no mechanical means of transportation are allowed. So we will work with willing landowners to try and find the best possible route along this segment.
Now, if people would like to get a hold of the North Country Trail, for this and get a hold of you, how do they go about that?
They can contact Matt Davis, our trail coordinator, at a phone number and website that we'll put on the screen for folks here. And we are setting up a Facebook page where people can interact with, stay abreast with, and have their input into this trail routing process. We're going to be at this for several years, so people will have ample time to have their voices heard and react to our planning process as it unfolds. So we invite them to come to our meetings. We will be holding our first steering committee meeting this week. And we have identified community leaders, elected officials, and interested people who we're going to draw together. But they will become the messengers for all of the population that lives in this area to try to get the best information we can. So we invite people to participate either at the steering committee meeting this week or interacting on the Facebook page that was set up, or contact you or myself, quite frankly, as parts of the Trail Association.
Well, that sounds great to me, Willis. And so you people out there, think about this. Where in your area, what are the beautiful spots that you think people should see? Because this trail will connect eventually to the Appalachian Trail very shortly. And this is not a new trail. They've been working on this for 49 years.
That's correct. Congress authorized the creation of these trails way back in the 1950s. And we're embarking on the 11th leg of that being the North Country Trail across the northern tier of states.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being on the program, Willis, and best of luck to you and us on the North Country Trail.
Thank you, Hank.
And with that, we'll be right back with another segment of Spotlight on Frazee.
Spotlight on Frazee is sponsored by these community-minded businesses and organizations. The City of Frazee and Frazee Event Center, featuring a 5,000 square foot room, a built-in stage, and a full-service bar, perfect for a multitude of events. Call or click to book your event. Frazee Community Club, people and business coming together to make the community fun, friendly, and thriving. Become a member and help support your community. Frazee Burgess Forum, locally owned and operated, bringing you news for the Lakes area in print or online. Subscribe today, FrazeeForum.com.
Welcome to back to Spotlight on Frazee. I'm your host, Hank Ludke, and I'm here with one of my favorite people and one of the favorite people of the Frazee area, Ike Fischer. Howdy, Ike.
Hello. How are you today?
Well, I'm warm now that I'm in your house and not outside.
Yeah, I'm warm too in the house, thankfully.
Well, I know you've got a big event coming up here on May 11th at Fischer Century Farms.
Yes, we have our annual conservation tour for the 5th grade kids. And we set up tours with different stations. Some stations have like a birding watch, and we have a marine wildlife examination where they dip worms and bugs out of the creek. We have tree planting and growth of how trees grow and what they need to grow. Different stations. We have a garbage disposal station, which tells what we can use for recycling and what we can't use, have to dispose of otherwise. The game wardens generally came with a really good program on some of their activities, and I usually give a talk on old-time logging industry in which all of my relatives participated in, and my grandfather, how he came to like this area and moved from Iowa to here.
Well, I've been out to your farm a number of times, and of course, you have your own mill out there too, and you're actually milling some of the trees that you've planted.
That's correct, yep. Some of them were huge, and I never expected to be cutting them for lumber, but those that died or were in the way for utilities or roadways, I hated to see discarded, so I bought a lumber mill, and it's not a good profitable thing because most of it goes to friends and relatives.
Well, yeah, I see that over on Dawn's greenhouse over there for her plants at Dawn King's.
Oh, yeah?
The one where you did that siding type.
Special outside siding, yeah. There's quite a few people want it, but it's hard to make, slow to make.
Now, this on the 11th, what time does that start for the 5th graders?
It starts at about 9:30, and then are probably 3 different groups going in, so they leave about 12 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock, and then another group gets back about 12:30 or so for the afternoon.
Well, I think this is a great thing that you've done, and it's your 50th annual hike. You know, how old are you now? I'd like you to tell the audience. I want to make sure that I'm right.
Well, I'll be 96 in June.
Okay.
So I'm close now.
I was thinking you were 96 already. I didn't mean to push the envelope on you. But I appreciate you being on the program, Ike, and all you've done for the area all these years. Bless you.
Well,
And we will be out there
thank you,
that day
sir.
and doing some filming on TV3 so that on some of these days you'll see what happens at Fischer Century Farm on Conservation Day. And with that, remember, pet the dog, hug the kids, kiss the wife, and wave at the neighbor. You never know, the person that you wave at next could be your next best friend. And we'll catch you next week on Spotlight on Frazee.